My name is Ben Sahagan, and what do I do is I'm a photographer. I am originally from the Philippines, and then believe it or not, we moved to Australia and lived over there for a while, and then we moved here in America, in the US, now in Las Vegas. What brought me to Las Vegas is family. I have my relatives that live here, my cousins, aunts, uncles. They first moved here. I figured I'd check it out, and I ended up finding a job. Actually, I was just a tourist at first. I found a job, and then now I'm here. Found a job, and I enjoy it. I've lived here for quite some time now. It's been a while. I came to Las Vegas maybe about 15 years ago or something like that. 15, 16 years ago.
How old are you now?
I'm close to 40 now. What drew me into photography is, well, first of all, I like art. I used to paint a lot. I would draw and all that stuff. And I tried to paint something realistic at the time, but I figured that would take too long. And so I picked up a camera, started taking pictures, and I ended up liking it. And, so I just focused more on the photography part of it instead of like just drawing and painting and stuff. And so basically what I did is when I ended up buying a camera. So whenever we took some family, holidays and all that stuff, some vacations, I would bring my camera, take pictures of my friends, and eventually went to school and got a degree in photography. And now I work as a photographer, doing weddings, events, fashion, pretty much you name it, fitness, whatever case might be. What kind of photographer I specialize in is, well, first of all, I like to shoot people. That's the main thing. So pretty much it doesn't really matter what people do, I enjoy shooting people. Whether it's fashion, fitness. I have shot several weddings and events, of course, but I sort of mix fashion into it because I do enjoy shooting fashion. Part of that also is that shooting people that are fit, shooting physiques, people in general, beautiful people basically with beautiful bodies, that people that take care of themselves, people that work out basically. Well, what brought me into AI is because they offered a photography class, a photography course. I know they offered that in UNLV and other colleges and all that stuff. I just figured the Art Institute was really more focused towards the trade part of it, more of a hands-on compared to the theory part that you would normally get with other colleges and so forth. And obviously they taught you a lot of ways to work the equipment, the camera, how to light something, of course. And that's pretty much how I got started. But I enjoyed going to the Art Institute, believe it or not, and I do recommend for people out there that if you are thinking of going to school, then yeah, just go to school, whatever school that is, but just it's a way to sort of improve your craft. But yeah, I enjoyed going to school. Well, some of the things that I did at school, well, first of all, obviously they taught you everything. They taught us how to set up lights, how to pose people, how to use the camera properly, different settings and so forth, all the technical aspects of it. But at the same time, you learn business anyhow, which is really nice as well, because business is a big part of what you want to do, So it's not just the photography or the trade part of it, you gotta learn how to make money with it as well. I mean, if you don't make money, then, what's the point of like doing it, right? I mean, you can do it for fun, you can do it as a hobby, but in the end, really it's just a hobby. But, you sort of want to incorporate business into it, so you can, obviously, you can move on. And, equipment's pretty expensive, so obviously you want to, you're going to end up buying more. So you need to know how to acquire more clients. The more clients you have, the more money you make, and then the better your equipment would be, So yeah, it's you learn quite a bit going to school, obviously, like I said earlier. Exactly. I just shot a few fitness sessions. Can I say the name? LV Physique. I think that's one. Platinum Physiques. Okay, with the Platinum Physiques people. It was fun. Everyone was great. They were all working out. I was just sort of a fly on the wall at first, and then you know, while they're working out, and then I just sort of got in a little bit closer, focused more on how they worked out on each pretty much each body part, and then I ended up setting lights in the studio, and that made it more you know, more focused towards them. So it became more of a portraiture of like people that have great physique, you know. I really enjoyed shooting you know, people with great physique. It's you know, it's something I'm probably gonna end up doing in the long run, you know. So even though I've only done a few of them, but I really enjoy doing it. What do I look for when I'm shooting physiques? Is that when I'm shooting physiques, it's really all about the body to begin with. How the body is incorporated with the person themselves, you know. How they look, how they would stand out in the crowd, you know. Similar to how when people work out, they focus on certain muscles and stuff. It's the same thing with photographers. What I'm looking for when I'm shooting them is that whatever they focus on. So let's just say they got big arms or something, you know, they work on their chest, then yeah, I'll zoom in perhaps. I'll do a close-up or towards whatever that body part is. Just basically the way the person looks, you know. Similar to how when you go out and look at statues, for example, you know, the statues look great, and you know, people with great physiques look great as well. So just whatever, however I can make the person look attractive or more attractive. Obviously, they all already look good, so I just kind of want to enhance it a bit with my camera, you know. Yeah. Oh, why do I want to go into the bodybuilding world? Man, there's a lot of reasons. Well, first of all, that's a big trade. That's a big thing here in the U.S., and not just the U.S., obviously all over the world, you know. As a photographer, as a business, then, you know, I'll have more clients, of course. But other than that, it's, well, first of all, people are great to work with. You know, people are nice and all that stuff. They're working out, they're more focused. You know, if there's anyone who's going to be more focused, it's people that actually that do the bodybuilding, and, you know, people that actually concentrate on you know, working out. You can tell obviously they're not lazy, which is nice. I want to be around people that, I want to surround myself with people that work out hard, you know. And you can tell how intense they get, and which is great, you know. As far as the photography itself, you can make dramatic pictures if you want to. You can light it on certain, like, different ways and make that person look great, you know. I just enjoy doing it, actually, you know. That's, like I said, I'm actually just gonna be working more towards that with my photography, you know, just shooting people that actually work out, you know. So does it have an impact? Absolutely, it has impact on my personal development. I do work out, not as much as you know, people that do bodybuilding stuff, but, you know, I try to stay as fit as possible, you know, especially when I'm shooting people that are fit. It's like you get jealous. You're like, oh, I want to be like that. I want to be like him. I want to be like her, you know. I want to work out as much, you know. I wish I could. I wish I could do this, you know, that kind of thing. But obviously, it's something that they've worked hard for pretty much throughout their lives, and, you know, and I commend that, and I love it, you know. And yeah, like I said, you know, I want to surround myself with people that I want to be in the long run. People that work out hard and all that stuff, you know. But, you know, I just really enjoy shooting people with great physique. I'm serious, you know. It's something that I'm probably gonna do from now on, you know. Oh, absolutely. If people want to see my work, well, you just go to Ben Sahagan Photography. You can check me on Facebook. On Instagram, I am Photos by Ben. and you can find me on Twitter, Ben Sahagan. You can Google me, and you'll see some of my work, whether it's weddings, events, fashion, physiques, you know. Just find me online.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Made in Vegas. I'm your host, David Lee. Today we have a guest that's been on this show, well, kind of been on this show. You've seen him in other shows on this network, and you have seen him in the background doing some photography or whatnot. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Ben Sahagan. Ben.
Hey guys.
Hey.
David. It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me over.
No problem. Why are you yelling at me?
Oh my goodness. I'm just excited to be here.
All right, on. And dude, like, you know, I've known this guy since college, and that wasn't very long either. What year did you graduate?
A couple years ago, so that's 2015.
2015?
Yeah.
Not long at all.
Something like that.
But I particularly noticed you because you did a lot of this. You were in the same circle of friends as I was in, the fashion club. You did photography, and photography, actually, you know, I don't know if you know, but photography was my first love.
Oh, it was, huh?
Yeah. Okay, I'm lying. It was my second love. First one was graphic design. Then I was like, you know, I could use graphic design, but I want to know how to take pictures.
Exactly.
So I picked up an N65, a Nikon. I know it's bad. Nikon N65, and it was a film, one of those film cameras. It was a SLR minus a D. You know.
Exactly. It's all good.
Yeah, and that
camera would work.
got me into my first photography gig, studio gig, and so that's
perfect. See.
That's how I have this affinity for what
you got
do.
into it, so that's good.
Yeah, you know, and we just watched your video and you know, you talked about how you got into photography yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, like what was it that got you into photography? I know you love taking pictures, you love people, but what was the one thing that just did it for you?
Oh man, there's a lot of things actually, you know. It's the art. That's the main thing, you know. I love making art. And to me, photography is art. It's not just pushing the shutter, it's not just pushing the button, it's really making art. Making something look nice, making look something attractive, you know. Pulling something out of the person. I love shooting people, you know. I mean, I do enjoy landscapes, shooting trees and whatnot, but people's my main thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that I get to connect with them somehow, you know.
Yeah.
Whether we're talking or not, it's really just through my camera, through the lens, as you would do it, you know. Because for most part, I'm seeing people through my lens, right? But I'm really connecting with them too at the same time, you know, getting their pretty much soul out of them, you know.
Yeah.
How they look.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy it.
They say that the eyes are the window to the soul. As a photographer, that's exactly what you're looking into.
You're exactly right. That's what I want. That's what I want to do.
You want to look at people's souls.
Yeah, exactly. Look into them deeply, you know, just grab them. If I can just pull them out of them, just pull it out, then, you know, stick it in my camera. And that's what I'm doing. He's
kidding. Christian station, he's kidding.
But yeah, I really enjoy making some nice photographs as much as possible. I do enjoy shooting weddings, of course, you know, when people get married and, you know, you see that love, you know, obviously you see that connection. You know, I love shooting portraits, fashion, you name it. You know, I just love, I could just pick up the camera. I have it with me right now, you know, I take it with me everywhere, you know. So what's the best camera there is? It's the one in your pocket, believe it or not, you know. So it could even be a cell phone. Yeah. And I do enjoy taking pictures with my cell phone. It doesn't have to be a digital camera, you know. It doesn't have to be like thousands of dollars, you know. It's you know, tiny little cell phone, anything that you can use to capture the moment. It's all about the moment, you know, capturing the moment, really. You know, that's what photography is about anyway. You know, I mean, it's you can compose it, you can do all that stuff, you know, you can set up the lights and all that, but if you don't capture the moment, then you don't really have anything. But you gotta be able to capture at the split second, you know, basically. Yeah. That's what the camera does. That's why I enjoy it, you know. It's for me, it's a challenge sometimes. just trying to sort of just wait, just waiting until something happens, and then, just push the shutter just at the right time. You can, if you do it too early, then it's too soon. If you do it too late, then it's too late. So you got to get it at the right time. Basically, that's what I look for. That's the challenge that I sort of pose myself every time I'm shooting somebody.
Yeah.
Whether it's poses or whether it's just street photography, because I do that too sometimes. But either way, I just love to pick up the camera and just shoot, basically.
Do you prefer outdoor photography or indoor photography?
Actually, believe it or not, it doesn't really matter.
Really?
I could do both. Obviously, with indoors, you're in control of the environment. It's not going to be too hot or too cold. It's not too windy. You can set up lights and all that stuff in the studio, for example. But if you're outdoors, then you have this beautiful scenery that you cannot, sort of create inside, other than obviously if you were to Photoshop, add that in as a backdrop.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't really do that. I'm not a graphic artist. So I just sort of try to capture the whole picture into just the one thing. So if I were to post somebody outdoors, then I want to make sure that the background looks great as well,
True. Yeah. Oh, wow. And I know, and you did a lot of, like, I want to go back to what I was talking about. You did a lot of, you were in the same circle of friends as me. I noticed you did fashion shows.
Mm-hmm.
And doing photography, and I was over there doing video for fashion shows as well. I was like,
exactly.
This guy knows what's up.
It's fun. I know. I mean, I was checking you out too. Yeah, you know how to work with the camera. It was fun. But yeah, whenever I shoot events or fashion or anything like that, I'm usually all over the place. I don't just stick to one spot, because I want to capture everything from different angles. Whether it's like all the way up front, like as a close-up, or all the way to the back as a wide angle, for example.
Yeah.
And not only that, what I try to do is that I don't just sort of focus on what's going on the stage. I see people's reactions as well.
Yeah.
The audience, whether they're laughing or crying or whatever case might be. Like for weddings, for example, whenever I shoot weddings, I don't just focus on the bride and groom. I look at the parents as well. Sometimes you see people tear up, so I try to capture that moment. If there's an event that I'm shooting, say it's a corporate event, for example, I look at the audience once again, because people laugh, for that fashionably funny that we shot. Obviously, it's a great show. It's a wonderful show.
Who was
people were
fashionably
laughing.
funny?
The one over at the Art Institute.
Oh, you mean this clip?
My name is Hawate Brahanu, and I am also known as Life. Hawate, when it's translated in English, it means life. So you can call me Life as well.
My name is Shema Tosh. I'm a stand-up comic. I usually perform in Vegas. I do the bulk of my shows here. I try to be a pretty fashionable person. It's kind of tricky when you do stand-up. You can't be too fashion-forward because you don't want to eliminate a portion of the audience that, when you first walk on stage, they make a lot of judgments right up front.
So what about it?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I'm glad you asked. So anyway, when we shot Fashionably Funny, we had great comedians, amazing comedians. So obviously I shot the comedians. But at the same time, I actually walked through the whole audience as well, trying to shoot people as well at the same time, getting people's reactions as they were laughing and so forth. Sometimes people actually laugh so much that you can see people's tears come out. It was nice. It was wonderful. It was a great event. We should do it more often, basically.
We should.
Yeah. Let's make it bigger this time, guys.
Yeah. If they would pay us, they should pay us. You know how hard that it was to produce that show? I mean, it ran smoothly as possible. I was freaking out in my head the entire time, though.
Glad it went smoothly, that's for sure.
Yeah, like,
because you put in the hard work in the beginning, that's what happened, and then
Yeah.
So when the time for the show came up, it all went well. everything just clicked.
That was so cool. Like all the majors came together.
Yeah.
Most of the majors came together. I think the only people were that weren't part of it was graphic design. They did some graphic design, like the program design, but I designed the poster, so like, I kind of took that away from them.
There you go. That's where your graphic artist personality came in. That's why.
Yeah, you see a vision, you have a vision, you're like, okay, this is how I want it to look. I'm just gonna do it myself.
There you go. That's how you do it. I mean, it's that's probably part of the reason why I got into photography as well. I go into art galleries and I look at magazines and I'm like, maybe I should try that. Maybe I can do this myself.
Yeah.
Then I do. I mean, they're all wonderful work, of course, but there's a lot of artworks out there, and I just try to imitate it. I try not to copy it per se, but I try to get inspired by it. So if I were to go to an art gallery or even open up a magazine or something, that's how I got into photography anyway. Just looking at beautiful things and looking at just seeing if I can recreate something, basically.
So I want to talk more about that. We'll be right back after these messages. So stick around. I'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around, and I'm still here talking with Ben. And Ben, oh dude, okay, so you did a couple of shoots with Platinum Physiques.
I did actually.
Yes,
that was awesome. That was amazing.
Prior to that, you had a little bit of experience just shooting me alone. Did that help in any way?
Of course it did. I mean, it's
like when you first shot me. What were you looking for?
Well, since you work out, David, you obviously work out a lot, so you do have that physique, which is really cool. I was just looking at your upper body strength, how I can make you look good, how I can light you up. It's how I can pose you, basically. Shoot your chest, the back, the biceps, whatever case might be.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Make you look like one of those posters you see in Hollywood, for example. Yeah, like the Hulk poster. Where stand back, you see his back. Yeah, that's where I got that inspiration from.
Right on. So now you did a shoot with involving girls. How is that difference in contrast to shooting a guy?
Well, guys are more straight, lean, and sort of like you're just looking for straight lines, basically, with guys. Certain angles, of course. With girls, even though you're looking for the physique and everything like that, you're looking for more the curves,
Curves.
Yes, exactly. More like an S curve or some sort of curve. Nothing too straight. You don't want like a straight arm or thing like that. Obviously you want to show off their muscles, how they build their muscles up and all that stuff. But at the same time, you want to make them look as, obviously they're already beautiful, but you want to make them look beautiful or more attractive, through your camera, through your lens. Light them up properly, of course, focus your lighting on whatever that, you want to focus on, that kind of thing. So if you're looking at their arms or, their abs or whatever case might be, you sort of want to zoom in on that. It's somewhat, it should be similar, but it is still somewhat different in a sense that you're looking for different things. Even though, yes, they're both built and they work out and stuff, but guys, like I said, it's mainly just lines. You look for straight shots. Girls, just more of a curvature and stuff.
Why bodybuilders though? I know you talked about it in your video earlier, there's because you got models, right? You have fashion models, you have import models and all that.
Yeah, there are all sorts of models, whether it's the fashion models or.
Do you have a favorite?
Actually, I like to shoot all of them. I wouldn't say I like all of them, whether it's fashion, physique, or whatever case might be. They're both attractive to me. But the models that I've shot in the past, obviously, you know, whenever I shoot models, you can just, you know, it's mainly, if it's fashion, it's mainly about their outfits.
Gotcha.
You know, about their clothing, about their makeup, about all this, about how they pose and all that stuff. Now, when you transfer over to the physique part of it, you're still looking through poses, but different sort of poses.
Yeah.
At the same time, obviously, you're not shooting for the outfits. They don't have the beautiful gowns and all that stuff. Obviously, you know, you're looking at their body. Their body is actually what sells them. You know, so it's not necessarily their makeup or the clothes or anything like that. It's what they worked hard for. You know, those are the two different things that I would say. But either way, I like shooting both, whether it's for fashion or for the physique, you know, photography. Doesn't really matter to me. They're both people, you know. I like shooting people. So, and that's one thing about photography as well. You got to learn how to light, you know, different sorts of subjects, you know, and how to use your equipment properly and all that stuff as well. So that's, I guess that's what I do. That's my aim with photography, you know. I try to sort of be more diverse.
Yeah.
Because basically, you know, I mean, you can focus on one thing, but at the same time, you know, people are going to ask you to do different stuff. And, you know, for me, I just sort of want to do different things because you'd get bored shooting the same thing over and over and over again. So I just want to try different things, you know.
Could you do real estate? Could you shoot real estate?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Food, real estate, landscapes, trees, birds. I've done it all. I just don't really sort of do it as often.
Yeah.
I don't mind shooting, you know, still life, which is just subjects, you know, or food or something like that. You know, even then with food, for example, or glass, you know, metal, you gotta light them a certain way. So
That's
you gotta,
true, yeah.
So you gotta know your lighting, of course. You gotta know the ratio. You gotta know your equipment. You gotta know everything. The thing is, what I look for is that whatever I'm shooting at, you know, what I'm shooting is just a subject. To me, it's a subject. You know, how can I make this look good? How can I make it look the best? If it's a person, how can I make them look the best they can be? You know, so it doesn't matter about their size, their height, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's how can I make you look good? You know.
True, true. So, Ben, what's next for you?
What's next? I'm still continuing photography, of course.
Yeah.
I may dabble in a little video, but not as much. But, you know, photography is the main thing. I am trying to open up, you know, a larger studio. Right now, I have a home studio. You know, I want to get my own studio, of course. And obviously with a studio that's a fully functional studio, I can actually shoot more people in there instead of just mainly headshots. Because the home studio that I have, it's really just designed for headshots, really.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really get to see the full body. I mean, you can, but you know, it's not as you know, wouldn't be as comfortable. You know, you don't have the length, you don't have the space that you'd need.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you cannot really decorate that, you know, my small studio at home. But if I were to get one, then, you know, I would be able to do whatever I can, basically. I mean, I know I can shoot outdoors, but at the same time, it's nice to shoot indoors anyhow, you know.
Yeah.
Where you can control everything.
Totally.
Yeah.
So again, you know, because they saw in the video, the earlier video, but if you guys want your pictures done for anything at all, how could they get a hold of you?
Thanks for asking. All right, so here's the deal. My name is Ben Sahagan through Facebook and Twitter. On Instagram, it is Photos by Ben. And add me, find me. Sahagan is actually Ben, is B-E-N. Sahagan is S-A-H-A-G-U-N. And just find me, and you'll find me. You can Google me, you'll find my pictures, of course. But yeah, check me out. Thanks.
Awesome, guys. Well, you heard it from him. That's how you get a hold of him. You can see some of his work. He's done lots of good work. I know this because I've worked with him for years now. I can say years because it's been years. What, 2013?
Yeah, it had been years.
Yeah. So check him out. And this is the show. Made in Vegas. I'm David Lee. Ben Sahagun. Aloha.
I actually bought my first camera a long time ago when I was a kid, and I really enjoyed photography. So I purchased my, at the time it was a very expensive digital camera, and I just fell in love with it even more. So when we went on vacation as a family, I used that, and I kind of didn't really know how to use it too well, so I kind of wanted to learn more, so I went to school for it. And then since then, you know, I bought more cameras and so forth, and obviously my love for photography just it just grew. So basically I just studied and everything like that, and now, you know, I do a lot of weddings and I do fashion, which I really love. Later on today, I actually have a photo shoot with a good friend of mine. Her name's Graciela, and it's gonna be over at downtown Las Vegas, right by the container park. It's for a promo. It's for a t-shirt company. You know, we're gonna be walking around Fremont Street, looking for different spots, different places, looking at the murals of the wall. Of downtown. And I'll just have her do different poses. You know, you'll see how I interact with her. Obviously, she's a friend, but it will show you how I would interact with any model, you know, or with a subject. I'm probably not going to be using a flash for this photo shoot, so it's just going to be real quick, real fast. I just wanted to make it look more of a casual type of photo shoot, you know, as if she's just going to be walking around town. Hey, what's up? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, goodness. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness.
I'm excited.
This is my friend Graciela. I've known her for a long time. We are going to be shooting a promo for a t-shirt company.
Yes.
One of them is this shirt right here.
Morning,
And
mimosas.
It'll be a fun shoot. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just gonna match, well, her skirt right now is sort of flowery and stuff. And so I just saw this this mural right here, this painting. So I figured it would just sort of be opposite to what she's wearing, so she'll stand out. So I'm probably gonna be shooting her right about here in this area right here, because so it's not gonna be too messy. Because otherwise, if I were to go right about here, then it might be a little bit too much. So that's where I'm gonna have her stand. So we're just gonna be changing outfits right now. We're shooting, I think, 5 different outfits, 3 to 5 different looks. So we're gonna be walking around downtown. It's just gonna be nice and easy. It is getting quite sunny right there, nice and hot, but you know, it is what it is. Shooting in RAW, which I normally do anyway. I would always recommend shooting RAW. You can certainly shoot JPEGs, but with RAW you can obviously do a lot of touch-ups, a lot of post-production with it. JPEGs, you're pretty limited. All right, with this wall right here, the reason why we're shooting here is obviously it's because it's black and white. You have the X's and O's right here, so I'm probably gonna have her doing both, shooting in front of the X and in front of the O. One thing about shooting shirts or anything like that with text is that you gotta be able to make sure that you can see the text. If you had it hidden and stuff, then there's no point. So you gotta kind of make sure you can see everything. Otherwise, when I'm shooting, 1 foot up against the wall, just gonna be leaning back. So this time around, I see this X, so I'm just gonna have her right here in the middle of the X. This X marks the spot, and X marks mimosas. So we're probably going to be shooting at a cafe or another mural or any other part of downtown Vegas, just for a different look. She's going to change it to a different shirt. How many shirts are we shooting today?
5.
5? All right, we've already shot 2. Or is that the same one?
It's
I
the
forget.
same shirt.
Same shirt. 2 different looks, same shirt.
Yes.
And then we're good to go. Cool. Looking away, just wave to people, you know. Step off of the, yeah, right there. Alright, give me more attitude. I like this coffee, you're selling this coffee. You work for the price is right. One thing is, when you're shooting people sitting down, you don't want to be shooting with their knees towards the camera, because they will look like she'll have stumps. So you kind of want to have them lean to one side. My model, Graciela, she's really awesome. We've been shooting quite a bit. You got the sexy style right here, where it says, spend all of my money on sushi and iced coffee.
Whoops.
Right now it's more of a iced coffee, because that's all we drank. We haven't had sushi yet. Hopefully we are gonna have sushi next time, but iced coffee for now. Normally what I do is I normally explain to the model how I'm gonna be shooting all the different poses and stuff that I want her to do. It really just helps her out. Makes the thing go faster, obviously the shoot go faster, and it just makes the day go faster, obviously, you know, and then you get the shots that you need. Now the reason why I chose this location, because of the lines. One thing you kind of want to look at are the lines when you're shooting. So this one, you got some really awesome lines right now. I'm just adjusting my my settings accordingly, obviously. This side is much brighter than where we were earlier, so I gotta adjust it. All I really am doing is that I'm adjusting the shutter speed. It's nice shooting with you once again. Always wonderful. So that's Graciela, guys. See the pictures. Hopefully you like the photos. As far as pricing, how do I know how to price my images and my work and all my freelancing? Well, first of all, it depends on your experience. That's where you gotta learn your craft. You know, you cannot just come out of school or just purchase a camera and say, hey, here's my price. You know, you just cannot set your own price, and then, because no one's gonna pay that. If you don't know how to do anything, you know, no one's gonna pay it. You know, if you're a cook or something, you don't know how to cook, then, you know, no one's gonna buy your food, right? Same thing with photography. You know, if you know, what I did is, like I said, you start off small. You know, you learn your stuff. At first, I was just getting as many gigs as I could. You know, I mean, I wasn't really concentrating on just one aspect of photography. It wasn't just like, hey, I want to do weddings, or I want to do like events, or, you know, it's just whoever wants to hire me. And I didn't really know how to price myself at the time, and I kind of didn't really want to, because of the fact that I didn't really know much about photography, obviously. And, you know, even if I charge them a lot, they're not going to want to pay me. So basically, it's just whatever was available to me. That's how much I charged, you know. Obviously, as I learned more, and obviously I practiced and I did my own thing, you know. And then now, obviously, I have a bachelor's degree in photography. You know, as far as price, it really is a really good question, but my answer to that is it really depends on you. You know, if you're just starting off, then it's hard to charge a lot, but you got to work your way up there. so say I'm doing a fashion shoot, you know, what I normally do is that it really depends on the model. You know, if the model is, say, an amateur, she doesn't really know how to pose and everything, what I normally do is I just usually ask them to freelance it, you know. So they just they do their own thing, you know. I kind of see how they would look. You know, I'd still be shooting, you know. I try to see how they would look good. So basically what I would do is I would have different sizes. I would shoot different sizes of the model, whether it's shooting her from the right side or the left side, but I would shoot her all, you know, just to see what looks best. And then basically I just try to get them more comfortable with posing and all that stuff. I try not to pose too much in the beginning, you know. I try to let them do their own thing, so I call it freestyling. And basically as the model gets more comfortable during the shoot, then that's when I start posing. I might adjust the lights and all that stuff, but your ultimate goal is to just have a couple of photos that would be workable, you know. I mean, you can shoot 1,000 pictures, 2,000 pictures, but as long as you have that the couple of photos that you can really use, then that's kind of like your ultimate goal. With post-production, that's a really good question. A lot of times people say, hey, I'll just fix it in post, you know, I'll fix it in Photoshop, I'll Photoshop this, you know, I'll do it after, you know, whatever case might be. But as a good photographer, and you are a photographer, I try to make sure that 90% of the shot is made, or of 90% of the picture is made in the shot. So it's really just the fraction 10% that I do in post, and that's something you cannot sort of do on site. Say, you know, if it's for a model, for example, then you make sure your makeup artist is around so you can fix the makeup if you need it done. If it's location, obviously you just gotta make sure you're pointing the camera at the right spot. If there's any dirt or something, then you just remove that on site. Your settings on your camera, you cannot be too overexposed or underexposed. You fix that in camera. So it's really just a fraction that you kind of sort of do in post. Because you don't want to shoot a photograph and then try to fix it in post-production, fix it in Photoshop, as people call it. Because otherwise you're not going to be a photographer, you're more like a graphic artist at that time, you know, or you're just a retoucher, you know, instead of a photographer, you know. But whenever I would shoot, like I said, I would just make sure I do it right in camera. As far as, say, cropping it, you know, I try to shoot it the way I want it to look, because you don't want to be shooting real wide and then you're trying to crop it to something real tiny. You're just gonna lose all those pixels, you know. You're just gonna make a huge file and then you crop it down to something small, and then when your clients want to print it, it will all look pixelated, and so obviously you don't want to do that. So whenever I would shoot weddings or whatever case might be, I try to get it right in camera. And as far as weddings is concerned, I shoot a lot of photos anyway, and if I didn't shoot them right at the first time, then I would have to edit each and every one of those pictures, and that would take much longer time, and then that's gonna cut into my my hours, you know, and it's basically just gonna cut into my pay. So the best thing is, yeah, you just gotta shoot it right. So and as far as post-production, I normally use Lightroom. It's the Adobe Lightroom. It's an awesome software. Basically, you just go through your photos real fast, and then it's just the 1 or 2 pictures that I would Photoshop if my client wants me to maybe fix blemishes here and there, you know, just little things, you know. Maybe I just you know, just a couple of things I need to retouch, but those are the types of programs I use, Lightroom and Photoshop. Hi, my name is Ben, and thank you for going inside my creative mind.